All right. Are we catching you mid work?
Yeah. What?
Dude, is this you working? Or hardly working? I spent my whole vacation coming up with that.
Many sleepless nights.
Yeah. Love it when a plan comes together.
Right. So, how'd it go? Now that you've seen what I manifested, how did it go? How did it land? Did it land? I think it landed.
Yeah. I'm gonna try it again next week though.
Okay.
I'd love to. Wow. This is very exciting. We both know going into this will be our fastest podcast ever.
Yeah, allegedly.
By design, allegedly. Hard out, 6:15. That gives us 45 minutes.
Yep.
Boy, we've never done it.
Spitfire.
We've never done it.
Question
so
one.
let's go.
Where do babies come
Question
from?
one.
Let's get the hard hitting questions going. Your butt.
Let's do the music.
From your butt.
Oh!
I've confused my priorities. Isn't it supposed to come to me? Yes, this is how it's meant to be. Every little thing flashing on a screen. My daddy worked hard for
Should
this.
have like super abbreviated that.
Yeah.
Well, just I don't want to digress too much here, but I remember when my mom read us the "Where Do Babies Come From" book or whatever, like the elementary school version of it is, and it showed imagery, but it just showed like a guy and a woman like on a bed, but just like they were hugging. So I didn't know. I was like, okay, so you just like lay together. I guess I didn't really understand what the book had to offer. It was probably more of a
right,
I don't
because
know.
isn't that going to cause more questions than answers? Like, why don't you? That's the all right. In that specific case, I'd say if the book is your best delivery, I'd say just avoid the question for now.
Because then it was probably like it wasn't about the sex, you know. My mom, it wasn't about the hot sex. It was more about I think making a baby because you're in love and probably God wants you to or something like that. So for a while, I thought a man just lays on top of a woman and his penis goes in her belly button. that's that's what I got from the picture. And you just sit there, you
Science.
just soak it
Yep.
like a bag of tea, just like that, you know. So you can imagine my surprise when this past year I finally learned. I finally learned.
Turns out, though,
Yeah,
gang, it's not that.
the old dipstick. Mm-hmm.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, welcome.
I assume the Auburn. I assume the Auburn Enlarged City School District and its attendees were the ones that explained it thoroughly for me. So, not a teacher,
separate
but
classes.
some student of some sort.
I love how it was like two very different classes because like the boys go in one room and the girls go in the other room, and so the boys are learning like don't let people touch your bathing suit area. Also, you have penises. You guys know that. It's like okay, and then and then they're like, oh, you sprout a few chest hairs. It's like dope. And then girls like, you're gonna start bleeding out of your body. It's gonna be
Right?
very traumatic the first time. It's gonna be a thing.
Talk about a pep talk.
Yeah. It's like it's a lot to handle. And not until I'm thinking like probably not until like eighth grade do you actually. I mean, I guess there's biology, but I feel like we didn't take like proper health until eighth grade. Is that true? Am I thinking that
eighth
right?
grade health class was when the the glass shattered. You figure like you have like the Stone Cold Steve Austin glass shatter entrance when real knowledge starts getting put down on you. You're like, wait, what was that shit from elementary school that you guys were trying to feed us?
Well, yeah, it goes from zero, to here's a picture of basically an exploding herpes.
Yeah,
like,
I was just gonna say, and here's herpes, asshole. You're gonna get it. I don't know what we're talking about. This is day 2, Mr. Half. Relax.
Oh god, it was terrible. Yeah, yeah. Then like we went real hard into like drugs and addiction.
Oh
It should
yeah.
have been a gradual thing, but it's like okay, now that you're 12 and 13, here's here's a gonorrhea riddled butthole that you can.
Right.
I don't know if that's a thing. But...
And you're getting this when you inevitably do heroin, and you're like, oh,
Yeah.
like Dare in elementary school was like, don't smoke weed, kids. If weed's offered to you in the back alley. In 8th grade, it's so you've decided to ruin your fucking life, you heroin addict. You're heroin addicted fool, and you're just like, I didn't know. So like you leave 8th grade being like, I should just walk around in cellophane and not exist.
I'm in danger.
Well, should we engage in what are we gonna call the wheel? I like the wheel of convenience that you said one time. That was pretty good. The wheel of convenience, the wheel of spin.
I mean, it goes with the theme song. It tells us how to talk. Like
one of our friends gave us a suggestion that wasn't good, so we won't even say what the suggestion was, but we will say his name. It's Steven Kalola, and it was a bad suggestion. Hi, Steve.
Hi, Steve.
All right, let's go.
Your request has been summarily denied.
We keep saying "all right" a lot, and nobody knows what that's from. Unless we did tell the story once, but it was the kid in our advanced government class who was also named Steve, but never read the book, and just would sit in the back of the class and go, "All right, yeah, all right, yo, Mr. Andrew, what a book."
Yo, Mr. Andrew, what a book.
We always go, "All right," and we've been throwing that in a lot. So if anybody's wondering, you probably weren't. But you're probably wondering, why do you say that all the time like it's a thing? Because it's a thing to us. It's part of our life. It's a critical moment for us. All right. Without further ado, 7 minutes in, let's get this thing going. All right. All right.
This is where we put the wheel theme. Wheel of convenience.
Good,
perfect.
The bad, and the ugly. A new one.
Perfect.
Is it? You sound like you're ready to go.
No, I'm ready for
this
you
is the idea
to go
of
because
okay, all right.
So here's the thing.
That's why it's perfect.
I'm gonna set you up for the good, the bad, and the ugly, because I was surfing the social medias Sunday, and I had a friend who posted on the Book of Faces that said, decided to go for a hike and such, blah, blah, blah. We had gone to hopefully see one of our favorite bands, but the show got canceled an hour before stage time. And I go, if I'm not mistaken, this is the band that Matt was going to see in Ithaca. So Matt, with that being said, how was your weekend? Give us the good, the bad, and the ugly about the weekend away.
Ushering that one in there, huh?
Just tap it in. Just tap it in. Give it a little tappy. Tap, tap, tap-a-roo.
Okay. Well, funny enough, I have something related to that, but
okay.
It kind of was good for me. I'll tell you why.
Okay.
So my real bad for the week was I had really bad anxiety Saturday, like severe, almost like panic attack type deal. And I started to drive to Ithaca, and I couldn't make it. It was like it's going to be the longest drive. I worked itself up in this drive, and then I decided I can't fucking do it. I was like, fuck, I can't do it. I can't go to the show. I'm wasting all this money, and I didn't go that night. And then I find out the show's canceled, and that's the good. I was like, yes, they won't perform without me. They won't perform without me. Let's go. Let's go.
You threw me the most amazing curveball right now, because I've been waiting 48 hours to talk about this, and it didn't go the way I thought it was going to go.
I cannot talk about it without crying.
So if you're the batter, a pitcher threw you a curveball, you took it out of midair and threw a curveball back at the pitcher. That's not a legal move, but you pulled it off.
It probably involved a lot of things, like working myself up to it for a while. We've covered it a lot. I don't like driving. Yep. This isn't even a hard drive, but it would have been the longest I've driven in over 2 years, which is like an hour drive. and I just I couldn't get out of my own way that day. I woke up and I was working myself up to go. I was like, fuck, I'm such a loser. I can't do this. I don't know why. Like, I don't even know how I'm good at it. It was doing this shit. And then I was just like, I can't fucking do it. And I just started, I was like, it's like, oh, well. I was like, you know what? I'll just go to, I don't know. I got to do it. And then I was like, doing like YouTube is like, well, what you want to do is like, if you have like a long, like, dude, start at smaller segments. And it's like, I should have did that like last week. Did a little bit, just got used to the route, and I did it. Fortunately, I have my psychiatry appointment this week, so I'm gonna figure that
Okay.
out by Friday, and I'll be cured. But yeah,
That's
just like
exactly
one of
how
those
it
days,
works.
just the anxiety just kept creeping and creeping, and I was like, I'm gonna miss this shit that I've planned a whole thing around, and I sure as hell didn't. And I got
I
so
d-
pumped by the cancellation that I was like,
I
I'm gonna
I
go
don't
tomorrow.
even
I
know
woke up
how
in the
to.
morning.
I don't know right now if I'm supposed to give you condolences or like congratulations. I'm so perplexed as to what my reaction as a good friend am supposed to be in result like of this news. That is so confusing.
I just got to think that it was serendipitous
Mm.
that God is real and Band of Horses just
What the
can't
hell?
perform without me.
Wow. Wow, what a what a revelation to wow, that is
Um,
quite the conclusion.
no, it was like it sucked. I was like, God damn it. And plus, I waited so long in the day that I especially don't like driving in the dark. And it's just something I got to work through. It's one of my. I'm pouring myself out here to
Did you go
say
Sunday?
things just go my way. I did. So I barely slept that night. I probably had like 4 hours of sleep.
Okay.
And then I got up at like 8 in the morning, and I was just like, I'm gonna fucking do it. I'm too tired to be anxious. I just got up and drove Sunday morning. I was just like, I'm gonna do it. I just went.
And
So I
then you
just drove.
stayed Sunday night?
Yep.
Okay.
I drove home without incident. Believe it or
Okay.
not, without incident. I couldn't believe
Wow.
it. Even though it tested me, the Lord tested me on this drive because halfway into it, it was like Sunday morning. It was frosty, just fog. Couldn't see like 10 feet in front of me. So I was like,
Okay.
oh, here we go. This is fun. This is fun.
Right. It is,
This is real exciting.
this
Can't
is
see
neat.
anything. But I don't know. I did it. I would say the good of it was the concert postponement, and I'm looking forward to it in the summer. I've made the drive now,
Mhm.
but just getting through it. Ultimately, I was like, so I got to do it. I can't not do it. Like it's kind of like an exposure therapy thing. Like I can't not go, whether even if that show was that night. I was like Sunday. I just got to do it. I got to drive there. I got to do something. I've made these trips. I already booked an Airbnb. I got to go. I did it. I consider it a small victory after a small defeat, and I'm gonna try it. I'm working my I'm trying to take the positive from it more than the negative. I feel like I did overcome it. It's weird to talk about because people are like, why do you what is it? How do you even get that? And I was like, I don't know, but I did it, and I overcame. And Ithaca was fine. It was like winter Ithaca's not great. I'll say that. Like
Yeah.
I hope it reschedules for like June. That'd be tight. I'll be
Yes,
ready for it.
that would be ideal.
I did go hiking on this trail. It was like a wildflower hike thing, but there was no wildflowers. This Airbnb was tight. It was like on this little river. Went for a run in town. Got a beer and a burger. Went ice skating at the rink where I played when I was a kid once. Went fishing. Did a lot of. I mean, packed a lot into like 36 hours. But I'm
Nice.
glad I went. So it's good. It was like the bad was the bad, the good was the good. And let me tell you about the ugly of this week. Completely
Okay.
unrelated. Planet Fitness. We've talked about it on this program before. Male nudity, pervasive male nudity, and Planet Fitness, which is a given. Any locker room, um, you're gonna see it. Um, but usually, guys get out of the shower. They're at the, it's usually older guys. They're getting their underpants on after they take a shower at the gym, or they're changing into their gym clothes. Fine. They don't make a show out of it. This guy did make a show. I walk into the locker room. There's a man, um, towel around the waist, but the backside of his waist, just full dong. Let's not say full dong. We'll say dong. It was present. Sets the towel down, goes back to walk into the bathroom, no towel, then walks back out, like right by this one dude who you can tell it's like right next to that door edge. Is like you can tell he's like, what the fuck is this dude? What are you doing? Then starts to get dressed with shirt first. Goes shirt first. button-up shirt, puts his button-up shirt on
Come
first, no
on.
pants, no underwear. Yeah, dude, it was so gross. Like the most disgusting, like
That
58-year-old
doesn't make
body.
any sense.
Yeah, goes shirt first, little dingy. It was like, it's kind of like, he had kind of like a Farva thing where it's like, you knew Farva, it was funny nudity in Super Trooper because his
Yeah.
dong was comically small for his mass, and so this guy looked like that with no shame at all. But yeah, button up shirt first. I think I'm gonna start getting dressed that way, shirt first, and then maybe a sock, maybe a glove.
Right.
You know?
Sneakers.
I was like,
tie up
fuck.
the sneakers, then work the underwear on over the
It's
sneaks.
hard to get these undies over these shoes.
Dude, just.
But I could not believe it. I was
don't
like,
understand
he's got to
why
be
people
doing it on
don't
purpose.
realize there's a difference between you being okay with your nudity and other people just not wanting to see it. There is a difference. Like, it's not about you. It's other people not having any desire to even happen across to your dong. Like, it's
you can't keep getting away with it.
Right, but it's always this weird, like, I assume it's this weird mentality where they're like, well, what? Everyone's naked. It's like, but not as often as you. Like, you don't need to be that naked. Like, knock it off. Stop it. Just stop. You gotta stop. You gotta wear more clothing in public. And that is still in public.
It's just a service to your fellow human beings.
Right.
I understand, like, pride, like body. I'm not body shaming him, even though his body is weird.
It's not what it's about.
It's a very weird body.
Don't need to see dick.
Yeah.
Like, just like
I
a
need to
lot
see
of
the
the
tip of your
processed
dick.
foods. Listen, processed foods we eat. I don't need to see the videos of how the sausage is made. Right? Like, that's the same kind of, it's the same awkward use of that analogy. But like, I know swear words, but I don't run around the public screaming obscenities. Why? Because other people don't feel like hearing that. So I'm not offended by me swearing, but I don't run around the public screaming obscenities. So you don't need to walk around flapping your dong everywhere in the wind like it's the fucking American flag. Like, stop it. You gotta stop.
I'm not in trouble at all.
I'm not in trouble at all.
Do you have anything good, bad, or ugly from this week?
Trying to think of ugly. This, early nights are tough. I hate the winter because of the sundown. I can deal with the snow and I can deal with the cold, but the darkness is the ugliest part. I can't deal. I look up when daylight savings comes back because I see that as like one of my favorite holidays of the year. Like, it's the weird concept. Like, that's literally like celebrating a holiday that other people like don't celebrate. Like, other than maybe like Christmas, daylight saving day in March is like my favorite holiday. I love going to sleep knowing that day that on Sunday it's going to be so much lighter later. And I'm like, yes, we're going back, baby. So these weeks have been tough. I'm trying to work through them, but it happens every year. I'm heavily affected by it. So that's been kind of trudging on me. The bad is probably visited yet another brewery that's going to be closing, but two breweries that I know locally basically announced that they were closing. One down the street from us that we considered our home base for trivia. They are like auctioning off stuff like in a couple weeks. So like they're really selling the closure aspect. And another one, I guess, is having a discrepancy with their landlord. So what do breweries do if you're going to be a jerk landlord and kick them out? You brew a beer that says like, evidently our landlord's an asshole ale. So
landlord,
yeah. So that one was good. But I did at that brewery where that's being evicted, if you will, they did have a punk rock flea market. So what that is, they're kind of a mobile setup where a bunch of vendors go set up things like records, t-shirts, things of that nature, mostly revolving around punk, but anything with t-shirts and records. There's metal, rock in general, classic rock, stuff like that. So I like that type of like flea market stuff, and found myself a Bad Religion shirt that I decided to buy. So that was
Which
the
one,
good.
Buddhism?
I got myself a Bad Religion shirt. What?
Methodist?
Oh, it just lists them.
It does suck. Like every, I mean, the bubble was gonna burst on breweries. There was so many that came out from like 2010 to 2020.
Yeah,
You know, let alone COVID, but just so many
it's
fucking
saturated
breweries.
down
And
here.
A lot of them are good. It's not that they're bad or anything. It's just there's so many.
There are, but there's a lot that you have to bring something to the table. You either have to try with your recipes, or your tap room has to be like, I need a reason to go to specifically to your brewery. So you either have to have a really cool environment at your tap room, or your beers have to be on point. But I know places that struggle with one or both of those things too. Like, I don't want to walk in and if you have 12 beers, I don't want 8 of them to be IPAs. Like, I don't. I like IPAs, but I don't need your like tiny slight variations on them. Give me a porter, give me a stout. If you have a couple stouts or a couple porters, oh man, you've won my heart, because a lot of places won't even have them, let alone 2.
Yeah.
But just get creative with like your ingredients. One place I had like a blood orange habanero ale, and I'm like, that's awesome. Those are 2 weird flavors that probably shouldn't go together, but it was good. So yeah, so some positives and some negatives revolving around the breweries, but you live, you move on.
Anything good?
Yeah, the Bad Religion shirt.
Oh, the shirt. Yeah, that's what you're going for. Yeah. Keep it moving.
Go.
Go.
We love convenience. My dad.
That might be a sound drop. Relationship advice, or as we've co-opted it to, just relationship questions. Here's one. What's the story of your middle name? I don't know if I ever know this.
Okay.
But I can give mine too. I think you probably know mine.
Do you know what my middle name is?
Jeff, I know it is. Yes. Jeffrey Andrew Warden. You had the best initials for gaming. Arcade games, Jaw. It was great.
Yeah.
Whereas mine were just consonant. MG and J.
Right.
It means something to me, but it doesn't look good on a pinball score board or something like that.
It's true.
So you're Andrew. I'm Gerard.
Yep. Andrew actually is from my great grandfather, my maternal grandmother's dad. So I don't know if there's another term for that, but so my great grandpa was Andrew Everett, and that's where I got it from. And what's funny is that I have a cousin that also, his middle name is Andrew. My cousin Mark. So that would be your brother-in-law's younger brother. Yeah. And I don't know, Aunt Sandy, but Mark was born 11 months after me, and you went with the same middle name. Bold move.
Stole it.
Bold move.
Maybe it's from you though, not from your great grandfather.
Is he named after me?
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. Wow.
Yeah.
What an honor.
He just saw you at like 7-8 months and be like, I like the cut of his jib.
I dig it. Yeah, because he got Map.
Soils that bib.
So he became Map. So he also has a name, for a word for his initials. But yeah, so that's where it came from. Great grandpa Everett, who passed away, I think, when I was like, oh boy, I'm gonna feel bad about this. Maybe like 3 or so. I don't think he made it to the 90s. So I think he passed away in like 86 or something like that. So,
Damn.
but yeah, named after him.
You never got to see Salt and Pepper.
Nope. Nope. And
Too
Jeff
bad.
came from nowhere. I thought
Really?
people have neat. My
It's
mom
one of
was
those
like, no, I
80s
just
names.
liked it. Yep, just liked it. Oh, okay. Moving on.
Well, it's kind of like how many of us in the early 80s are, Matt, Jeff, Mike, Dan, like all the most basic names.
Oh yeah.
A lot of girls. My sister's got Marie and Elizabeth, which is definitely the most common
Oh,
middle name of the era.
100%.
And then mine's my dad. I used to hate it because I hated my dad. That's not true. Well, because it was all it's a weird name when you're 8 and you're going through class and like, what's your middle name? If you're like Philip, John, and I'm like Gerard, and they're like, because nobody knows. Just a weird
Way
word.
to go,
nobody's heard before.
stupid.
I know, yeah, and I deserved it, but now I like it because it's now when I tell people, it's like, oh, that's cool, and I'm like, cool. I came up with it.
Did you ever think about like post 18 or even before? Did you ever think about being like, do I need a name change? Like, go buy something else. Like, do you ever in like college have a few weeks where you're like, I'm gonna just ask people to start calling me Jerry or like MG?
I would go full Gerard.
Ooh, would ya?
Yeah. I would. I mean, it's too late now, but
Is
I
it?
got a lot of
Can you
MJ in my
just
life.
can't you pivot? Just
I
start
go
word
full
of mouth.
identity change. Yeah.
Word of mouth. Just start telling people I'm going by my middle name now.
I can't wait to tell my family that. Like, hey guys, just something I got to tell you. Something maybe you've probably known about me for a long time. Just like I am transitioning. I am changing my identity. I'm not Matt. Okay. I'm Gerard, and I've known it all along. But,
They're like,
no!
what?
Get out of the house,
Yeah.
demon spawn. Too much RuPaul's Drag Race. But yeah, I like it now. It doesn't come up much. It just came up at work like a couple weeks ago. People were like, "Oh, that's cool," and I was like, "Yeah." And then someone's like, "Gerard Way," and I was like, "Oh yeah, My Chemical Romance guy."
Sure. From that.
Fuck, damn it. Damn it.
Shit.
Like, yeah. But now I like it. Ironically, my dad does not have a middle name because he wasn't supposed to be alive.
Oh.
It's just Gerard Jones because he was like a blue baby or something, and they had to operate on his heart.
Okay.
Didn't think he was going to survive, so fortunately, I'm alive and I get to experience driving anxiety.
So,
The
like,
miracle
was it
of
like
life.
a one time? Was it like a one time showing? Like, like they were like, did the hospital go like, hey, listen, I wouldn't even worry about a middle name because this one's probably not hanging around. Like, how
Yeah.
does that have anything to do with
I
naming
don't
him
know
a middle name?
exactly. I need to revisit. Let me revisit that.
Okay,
and I'll come with answers.
that's good. That's good.
Yeah, I like it. But yeah, MJ. My two nicknames in my life have been either Jonesy or MJ. I think MJ's fun because it's got that Michael Jordan, Michael Jackson thing going on.
Okay.
So I can always say
Very
like, oh, MJ,
very different.
And I'm like, yeah. But kind of, I feel like I'm a good hybrid of both of them. I'm not as athletic as Michael Jordan or as much of a boy pervert as Michael Jackson, but comfortably in between.
Right.
I can I can dance around boys legally. and
I can play horse. Basketball.
Yeah,
and I can play.
Yeah.
So I like to think myself as that middle ground.
Yeah.
I went in college. I became Wody. My
That's right. Oh yeah.
freshman year roommate started calling me Wody, and I didn't understand what it meant. And he said Master P used it in his songs as a term for like homeboy, like homie, my Wody. And so
I never knew that.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so he was like, "You're Warden." He's like, Wody. And then it picked up with my fraternity brothers because it also helped because there was another Jeff that was pledging at the same time. So that was an easy way to distinguish the two. And then it picked up and just spiraled out of control where people in college basically didn't even know that my name was Jeff because they would just know me as Wody because it was easier because then you didn't have to learn like a first and last name because I was the only Wody on campus. So I owned it, but it was weird leaving college and like not hearing Wody all the time and being like, oh, that's right, that's not my actual name. Because my college career was long enough that I'm like, is this my name? Should I just legally
Yeah.
change it to Wody?
A lot of people are called Wody for 7 years.
So
That's cool.
yeah.
I did. What an origin story.
Yeah.
I hope Marvel makes that one over 3 times.
It might as
That'd be very
well. I mean,
exciting.
their movies now are fucking terrible, so might as well work one in.
Oh.
Take that, Marvel. Take
Wheel
that, Disney.
of convenience.
Go, 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 go. Oh, it's a
Trivia.
chunky.
Why do I feel like you're super stoked about trivia?
It's a chunky.
That's what it says. I don't know if it chunked out, but yeah, it is trivia.
Gotta figure out what you do. All right, my turn. So
Didn't you say? I know you're real excited
right.
about this. You might have told me off the air.
We have 2
So
categories.
the way this works is you give us 2 categories, right? Yeah, we do 2 categories, and we each get to pick one, and whoever wins, whatever. Someone will keep track at some point. Starting this week, we'll keep track, and for Christmas,
cool. Yeah. No, don't track my
something
successes from last time.
Yeah.
Don't track my successes. We'll ignore the ones that I did well.
Well, I think it's even because you got questions right, but you didn't bring any questions to ask. So it's a balance.
All right. Anyway, taking the real wind out of the sail on this. So your options for categories are
all right.
1990s athlete nicknames or 1990s wrestler nicknames.
All right. And so the idea, and also I think one of the parameters was like it's questions we would have to get right at trivia without looking them up, right? Is that
correct? Correct.
Okay, yeah. Or I would have got, or you would get these right. I mean, whether or not I do, but yeah. Okay. You know what? A lot of hot news in wrestling lately. A lot of good news coming out of wrestling lately. A lot of stoked people about WWE and the goings on at WWE. Let's go. 1990s wrestling nicknames.
All right. So,
which I was honestly very fair weather on. And then I had a good 2 years of Attitude Era and then nothing else.
That's fine.
But I'm going to hope. Here we go. All right.
So I have established multiple choice. Do you want like multiple choice as a like secondary, or do you want multiple choice off the
as
bat?
A secondary? Yeah.
As a secondary.
Are you going to ask me the nickname and I got to figure out the wrestler?
I'm going to give you the nickname. You tell me the wrestler.
All right.
All right.
Yeah, let's start without the multiple choice.
What wrestler was known as the Body?
Jesse Ventura.
That is correct. Jesse the Body Ventura.
All right.
Who later went on to do great things
like
like movies like Predator, as well as being the governor of the state of Minnesota.
Ooh. What are you hosting a trivia show? Got added tidbits? Look at this.
You bet.
Hell yeah.
Next is who was known as the bad guy?
Oh. Razor Ramon.
That is correct. Razor Ramon, known as Scott, real name Scott Hall, went on to WCW to help create the NWO, which revolutionized wrestling at the time.
Dude, you're reading off a script.
I'm not. All right, let's see if it gets harder. Who was
That's what
the model?
Oh boy, this is embarrassing. That I know this. Rick Martel.
Oh, Rick Martel is right.
He got his little spray juice thing.
Yes, Essence.
Little prop.
It was called Essence. It was like a cartoon. It reminded me of like a cartoon, like bug sprayer. Like,
yeah,
like
Acme on the side. It should have.
Yeah. Exactly. It like basically looked like a tube with like a keg under it that sprayed perfume on it. Not a great gimmick. He did not do a lot of big things in the WWE, but he did wear a bow tie with his tights, and that was funny.
And he was a character. You needed 30 guys to fill out the Rumble, so he'd always be there.
You bet. Yeah, he was going to be a solid number 12 entry into the Royal Rumble, and sadly would always be said like, "Oh, Rick Martel could easily win this thing." No, he couldn't. As a child, I knew he couldn't win this thing. No, he was never going to win.
When they say, they're like, one of the Nasty Boys could win it. It's like, no guy in a tag team ever wins.
One of the guys that only wrestles in tag teams might get a shot at the title. That's not accurate.
One of the Bushwhackers is going to get a title shot.
Right.
For sure.
Luke is a bum, but Butch is definitely destined for big things. All right. 2 more left. He's 3 for 3, folks, with not needing the multiple choice options. Who was the Wild Man?
Damn, I do not know this. I feel like it's probably going to be some kind of like WCW shit or something like that. Somebody like Billy Kidman or something like that.
I'll give you the multiple choice. And I also spaced all the multiple choices and scattered them so that out of the 3 multiple choices I would give, the correct answer, there's no rhyme or reason to it. So the multiple choice you have is...
Nice Zodiac Killer.
Shut up. Don't worry about it. The multiple choices are Savio Vega, Mark Marrow, Justin Bradshaw.
It's got to be Mark Marrow, right? I think.
It is Mark Marrow. The Wild Man, Mark Marrow.
I forgot about it. You know what's funny is I got confused. I always got confused him and the model a little bit because they were so oily and tan. Mark Marrow.
Many men in the 90s were oily and tan.
Yes, that's right. All right, I get a half point. Half point for that.
All right, and the last one. Who was known as the Supreme Fighting Machine?
Again.
Yeah, they got harder, didn't they?
Yeah. I'm gonna lean on one of maybe the guys who came over from UFC. I'm gonna say Dan Severn.
That is not correct. Let me give you the multiple choice.
All right. Okay.
Was it Hakushi, Kama Mustafa, or Ahmed Johnson?
I'll go Hakushi.
Incorrect. It was Kama Mustafa. Kama Mustafa later on...
Shut up! You're killing me, Smalls.
Later on was known more popularly in the Attitude Era as the Godfather.
Oh, yeah.
Before that, he was the Supreme Fighting Machine, Kama Mustafa, and they used to do vignettes saying he was stronger than Schwarzenegger and faster than Van Damme. Folks, this man was neither stronger than Arnold Schwarzenegger nor faster than Jean-Claude Van Damme. But in the 90s, that's how you sell someone.
See, I remember him more as a Papa Shango, you know.
Yes. Previously known as Papa Shango, afterwards known as the Godfather. Lots of versatility there.
Yeah, that was when it was okay on TV to bring out hoes. It's like
yes, that's correct.
Just like 12 women dressed like
women of the night
videos.
Yep.
Yeah. Characters. Who's a character actor? All right, your choices. We got a theme here. Do you want to do 90s music or state capitals?
If
the state capitals one, I will give you a state, and you got to tell me the capital.
Oh, that's going to be really hard. I'm not good at that, so I'm going to go 90s music.
I definitely picked the state capitals that I knew that were the hardest, but that I remembered for some reason. It's one of those.
I am not okay
if I go through the list, I'll be like, oh, I didn't know that one.
As soon as you leave the East Coast, I'm pretty terrified.
All right. Well, I'll keep it in there as a third option for something.
Yeah, please.
All right. So 90s music. We go. Which boy band achieved international success with their 1999 album millennium?
That would be the Backstreet Boys.
Avi starting off easy. Had a lot of Backstreet Boys in my life.
Albeit I
with my
am
twin
more of
sister.
an NSYNC fan.
What band performed the Friends theme song, I'll Be There For You? And I remember this because he was on like some kind of Old Navy CD or Gap CD too, or something like that.
I have
They had
two.
they were
I have
definitely a
two
one-hit
band
wonder.
names that are similar, and I'm not sure which is which. I'm gonna
I bet I
say
know what they are.
the Rembrandts,
The Rembrandts. What was your other one?
the Refreshments.
That's funny. I know why. That's why. Rembrandts was it.
Yes.
Refreshments just sounds similar. The Refreshments is an awesome band. Fizzy Fuzzy Big and Buzzy. I think I talked about it on this show before. Great album. Still holds up. They had the ID at the border card. That one, Jean-Luc Picard.
There you go.
What were the names of all of the Spice Girls? There are 5 of them.
Their Spice names?
Yes. Oh,
There
do you want
was-
extra credit for their
Well, there
real
was
names?
Sporty Spice, Posh Spice, Scary Spice, Baby Spice, Ginger Spice. Now,
Holy shit. Obviously I knew it. That's why I put it in there. Are you going to go further? Are you going to go further with the names?
Ginger, I think
I should get pretty close to this, too.
Jerry Hallowell.
That's
Ginger was
correct.
Jerry.
I don't even have it written down, but I know that's right. That's right.
Scary Spice was Mel.
Still relevant.
Mel B.
That's correct. Yep. Had a nice
Sporty
stint in America's Got
Spice-
Talent.
Sporty Spice was Mel C.
That's right.
Posh Spice is Victoria Beckham.
Of course.
And
Of course.
Baby Spice is the tough one. I
It
don't
is.
remember what her name is. I have no idea. Nothing even sounds familiar.
I think it's Emma something.
Oh, Emma does sound right.
All right, we'll look it up
We'll go
just
with
for
that.
the sake of the listenership.
Sure, please.
Emma,
Because people are wondering.
Baby
People
Spice.
need to know.
We gotta know. Emma Bunton, which is a very British name.
Chip,
All right.
chip.
Bunton, T and Bunton. All right,
All right.
nice, great effort there. Great effort. What?
Mhm.
Okay, are we on question
3.
4? Okay. You got 3. You're 3
4.
for 3
Yep,
so far.
4.
What was the name of Alanis Morissette's Grammy-winning 1995 album? And for bonus points, how many Grammys did it win?
That would be Jagged Little Pill.
Correct. How many Grammys do you think it won?
Grammys. 6.
I mean, this is bonus because I didn't know.
6.
5, but we'll give you that. Obviously, Jagged Little Pill. Great call.
Great album.
Also, sneakily, maybe the most underrated singer of our life. Like, she had that album, and if I've gone back and listened to more of her music again, well, that album is awesome, still holds up. But then if you ever watch her live, any performances on YouTube these days, slays. She's fucking real good. real good singer.
Weird.
No wonder.
Oh, good. The Grammy.
Yeah.
Matt vouches for her Grammys.
Yeah. Vouch for a singer that everybody knows.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, last one. Which band has had a one-hit wonder in 1998 with "You Get What You Give"?
That would be, oh my God, folks, this song played ad nauseum and still is. Like XM radio loves playing this, and that is "You Get What You Give" by the New Radicals.
Oh, cheater. Cheater, you know things. Cheater. All right, you win. You're up 1-0 on the year in trivia.
Nice.
Wait, what plays it? Is that like is that the new Sirius thing? Is that whatever it's called?
Well, Sirius XM radio plays it. If you play pop rock, if you play 90s, it's just they play that song incessantly.
Gotcha. All right. Well,
we'll kick
I
your
think
ass,
we're there.
Yeah.
We're at that 44-minute mark. We're
All
nice and
right.
tight. Keep it nice and tight. Just leave them wanting more, you know?
Mm-hmm.
That's exciting. Now we have less to prepare for next week. Tighten it up. Keep
Just
it
gotta
tight.
Tighten it up. Just tighten it up.
This is going to be
All
great
right.
because this is going to leave us with the most comments we've ever gotten on an episode, which is like, we need more, you guys. This is just too much. I mean, we really need more. It's just too short for us. That's what she said.
Yeah.
And bring more next week, guys. All right. Well,
Signing
appreciate
off.
it. Thanks for tuning in. Episode 55 in the books.
Woo!
Number 55. Who's the greatest 55 of all time?
I don't know. I don't know what 55 is supposed to mean to me.
Dikembe Mutombo 55? Like a athlete?
Was Dikembe 55?
I don't know.
See. Athlete number
Greatest
55.
athlete, yeah.
Best athletes who wore 55. Ooh.
Mutombo is one.
It was Dikembe. Ooh, Terrell Suggs. I love T Sizzle.
Yeah. It's got to be a football player, too. Junior Seau.
Personally, I'm going to go Tim Lincecum. I was a big fan of Tim Lincecum, the pitcher.
Big baseball guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just the emo pitcher.
The freak.
Loved it.
Yep.
Long hair, no care.
Small
Days
guy
and
won 2
confused
Cy
forever.
Young awards that probably had no business being as good of a pitcher as he was for like 10 years. Or, well, probably for like 5 years. But.
All right.
There it is. Number 55.
This has been 55 and Sports Talk, all in one. Not even on the wheel. Adios, amigos. Check you later.
Stay.